Right here, you can see under week 8, there is a document I have uploaded, purchasing and placing orders 2023. So that is the document we are going to discuss, or the set of transactions we are going to record today. And before that, find your company file and open that. Right. So if you have the right company file, let me open and see. Open the software. Now, after a few weeks of vacation, if you have forgotten how to open the company file, you have first to open the software, right? Don't go and double click on the company file. Open the software, and then through that open button, you can find the location and then click on the company file, right? Then you should be having, under the student version, you should be having 41 days remaining. That is how you identify the correct company file. If your company file is having a different remaining time period, that means you are having a wrong company file. Then make sure your company file is having 41 days remaining. Right? Good version. And continue. Okay. And you should be getting a reminder. If your company file is accurate, you should be getting a reminder. What is the meaning of that reminder? Yes. What is the meaning of that reminder? Huh? How do we call this? Recurring transactions, right? Recurring transactions. How do we? What type of transactions do we consider as recurring transactions? Some transactions that are being continuously reported on a similar time interval, right? Maybe with the same amount, right? So we can program or we can record those transactions as recurring transactions. Because of the time lapse only, now it's showing it as a due transaction. We'll just close it, right? We'll just close that window, right? Okay. Just to recap, what are the areas we discussed under MyOB? On the first day, we created a company file, including all the details and business type, industry classification, and especially the location where we save the company file, right? And then we dealt with tax codes. We deleted unnecessary tax codes, we modified the existing tax codes, and we created new tax codes. And then we wanted the most important part or the heart of a company for an accountant, the account set, right? Then we modified the account set according to our preferences. We deleted some of the unnecessary accounts. We created new accounts. We modified some accounts. and we have completely shifted upside down the account list. So we are okay with modifying accounts. And then we wanted to start the business operation, right? We had a business operation including both services and products, right? We were in retail and both service industry. So we wanted our company to become primarily a retailer, and then we could record the service transactions as well. Then with that, to start the company operations, we wanted suppliers to provide us with those material and goods, right? So we created suppliers. We call them supplier cards. Okay. In MyOB, all the parties that we are dealing with are known as cards. For suppliers, it's supply card. For customers, it's customer card. For employees, that's employee card. And for other professional or whatever, those cards, right? Personal cards, all that. Then, after creating supplier cards, we wanted some items to be purchased, right? When we are continuously purchasing and selling certain items, we have to have those items in our inventory list. We have to have an items list, right? Then we prepared that items list. In that items list, we had major two types of items. What are the major two types of items? The broad two types of items. Service items and inventory items, right? Service items and inventory items. Then we discussed what are the differences between the service items, right? In service items, especially, we were just selling them. We do not purchase them or we do not inventory them, right? We generate that service within the company, within the organization, and we were selling it, right? That is how we provide services. I took that example of a saloon, right? When you go to a saloon, right? Do the barber go to another shop and buy your haircut product? No, he will generate it inside, right? And he's selling it, and then you have to pay. So there's nothing called purchasing the service. There's nothing called inventory. You can't keep the service as an inventory. You are just selling it, right? So based on that logic, we were preparing the service items, right? So under sales column, you had the service item. But when it comes to inventory items, you can't just manufacture everything here, right? So you have to buy them, right? And you have to sell them. While during the time period, you buy that and sell that. Within the time period, you have to invent, right? There can be certain cases where you will just buy and sell without inventory in this. That can be a commission-based arrangement, right? අනුන්ගේ transaction එක මැදින් කට් එකක් තියාගන්න model තියෙනවා. Discount commission models. So if in that model you don't inventory them, you just buy, because for buying there should be a record, for selling there should be a record, but you don't keep inventory. It's a third party transaction. But in this business model, we are a cricket club. We are buying those cricket items, cricket shoes, bats, balls, all that, and we have to keep them as inventory. Then we were selling it. So all three items or three processes we have to take, and accounts we have specified, right? So that way we have created the items list. Okay, that was our last learning before the disaster. That was our learning, right? Any of your classmates are affected by the disaster? I mean, badly affected, like anyone who is affected by the weather? I mean, like badly affected, like houses are broken. Any no any serious cases, no? Okay. So I hope everyone is capable of joining the lectures and no any problems for them. Right? Now you can learn, right? Because you have all the material, I mean, material all the material are there on the LMS, and your company file is there in the backup. So no worries, okay? For you to learn, but you just need this your memory. That's it. Okay. Right. Then Now today we are going to start the purchasing because we have all the required preliminary requirements to start the purchasing. We have suppliers and we have items. When we have both items and suppliers, we can start the purchasing process. Okay, right. So before starting any major process, now you see in these command centers, purchases is becoming one of the major command centers and one of the major functions of the business. Therefore, before starting any major function, we were doing something. We wanted to make that according to our preferences, right? We have to shape them according to our preferences. Therefore, we were setting preferences before starting any major activity, right? Now, if you are writing notes down, the main function we are going to learn is purchasing, right? Under purchasing, first thing we are going to do is setting preferences. Okay. Right. The path to set the preferences, I think you all have done so many times this preference setting. Setup, preferences. Okay. That is the path. Go to the setup tab. Under that, you have preferences. Under that preferences, you have a special tab for purchases. So that includes the preferences related to purchasing. Okay. The preferences related to purchasing. Then there are some preferences. We'll see what preferences are required for us. First preference is automatically print purchases when they are recorded, right? Maybe the bill, order, receive item, or whatever it is. So that is a good preference, but since we don't have printers connected to our computers and we are not going to do that really, therefore we will leave that preference. Otherwise, it will prompt to the printer, right? So we will leave the first preference. Look at the second preference. Warn if supplier owes me money before making a supplier payment. Right. What do you think? Is it a good preference to select? Yes, of course, it's a good preference to select because if a supplier is owing us some money, then when we are settling, we should know that. Otherwise, we will overpay the supplier, right? If supplier owes me some money, how can the supplier owe me money? We discussed this matter in the easy setup assistant of supply or the purchases. How can the supplier owe me money? Usually what happens is I owe money to the supplier. Supplier supplies items. Then I owe money to the supplier. How the supplier can owe me money? I owe you. I owe you is the short. In organizations you use it, no? For it. Short, you can 49. Yeah. Right. How the supplier can owe me money? We discussed this one instance where supplier has sent us goods, we have made the full payment, and then we found there are some returns, purchase returns. There are some defective items or some reason if we return them, then supplier owes me money, right? So we don't claim that money back. What we usually do is we wait for the next transaction to deduct that and pay the balance, right? So in that kind of case, if we have that kind of balance, now we are going to settle the balance on, not the full amount. Okay, so that is a good preference to select. So we are selecting it. It is already selected in my case. In your cases, if it's not selected, please do select that preference, right? And then apply supplier payments automatically to the oldest bill first. Is it a good preference? Of course. Otherwise, what happens is we will be just paying the recent ones. We will forget. Maybe purposely we will forget. Maybe mistakenly we will forget the older ones. Therefore, automatically apply that payment to the oldest bill first. But we have a choice. It doesn't mean it will make the automatical payment. Like it doesn't have AI to do that. It will ask us to settle the oldest bill first. But if you don't want to settle that for any reason, we can come to the later ones. But system will push us to select the oldest one, right? That is a good preference. So I'm selecting it, right? Then show the supplier invoice number in supplier payments. It's optional, right? For me, it's optional. In a real company, this can be good information for the payment. But at your stage, since you are just learning, too much of information may not be needed on the invoices. So it's optional. If you want, you can select. I'm not selecting, I'm just skipping it, right? But when the final report comes, don't confuse yourself because it can contain an additional number. But here I don't want it, I'm not selecting it. Let's not select it for the moment. Make a contact log entry for every purchase. That also I'm skipping because the contact logs are needed for audit purpose and internal audit or internal control purposes. Here our objective is not that. Here our objective is somehow to report the transactions and generate the final accounts. Okay, so for that purpose, we will skip that. And then want for duplicates. That is a very good preference always, right? In all the cases, we selected that want for duplicates. Want for duplicates, but what? Is it purchase orders only? Is it supply invoices or both PO and supply invoices? What do you say? Want for what? Only supply invoices? Hands up those who say purchase orders only. Hands up those who say supply invoices only. Hands up those who say both. Many. Very good. Because having duplicates under both these scenarios are risky, right? If you are having, because PO is also a legal document. When you raise a PO, you are responsible to purchase that, right? Therefore, you can't have two POs in the same purchase order number, right? Therefore, duplicates may be risky for the business. Therefore, no duplicates of PO, no duplicated invoices. Invoice is very risky anyway because it involves money, right? You will have to pay double. So we will select the third option, want for duplicate POs and supply invoices, right? And then retain original PO number on back orders. Here, I hope we discussed that back order means reordering. When we do not receive something, right? After we place an order, if we do not receive a particular item, we will reorder them, right? In private sector, you are calling it reorder, right? And here in MyOB, it is known as back order. Ordering again, something that you have not received. Okay. So when you're ordering it again, it is good to have the original PO number. The reason is otherwise the supplier will think this is a new purchase order, right? Because he should be able to track. This is something raised for the previous PO, but we have not received it. This is a back order. Therefore, that information is good. So we will retain original PO number on the back orders and retain original PO number when codes are changed to the order or bills. So that is optional, right? For me, when you are changing a quotation into an order, right? Or bill, do you want to retain the original PO number in those bills and everything? That is not so much necessary. But as I told you, the practice, if the companies want that, they can have it, right? It doesn't have a serious impact on our transactions. And then delete codes upon changing and recording as an order or bill. Now that is something we have to discuss. Organizations, if you take the purchasing process of a company or even the government organizations, what is the process? Anyone who is involved in the purchasing process can tell me. What is the process? How you start it, how you finish it? First, what do you do? Requirement. We check the requirements. Call quotations. After calling for quotations, what do you do? You check the prices and compare the prices, and you select the supplier. After selecting the supplier, what do you do? Place the purchase order, right? To place the purchase order. After the purchase order, what will happen? The supplier will send you the goods and the invoice, right? So that invoice becomes your purchase invoice. Then that invoice you record here. So in MyOB, the invoice is known as the bill. Okay, that word is there, bill. And once you receive the bill, the next step is you settle, make payment, making the payment. Okay, so that is the process now. Now, when you get a quotation, after selecting this is the best quotation you are going to select, right? You enter that quotation into MyOB, right? Then when you raise a PO based on that quotation, this preference asks you whether to delete the original quotation after converting it into a PO. What is your preference? What do you think? Which one is good? Delete or not delete? Sorry? Not delete. Why? තාත්තර සමහරලාට අර ගෙදර තියෙන බඩු විසි කරන්න කැමති නැති අය. වැඩේ ඉවරයි ඒ උනාට තියාගන්න. එහෙනම් I'm just joking. I'm asking the logic. Why you are not deleting? If don't want, let it be deleted. I'm not favoring any argument. I'm just openly keeping it for your discussion. What do you think? And why? Someone, yeah. For comparison purpose, you can keep it, still keep it. Okay. Any other? Those who say it's okay to delete it? Anyone? Or not delete it? Yeah. Now here it's asking immediately after you convert that into an order, whether to delete it or not. System will delete it if you give this preference. When you convert it into a PO, okay, PO is generated, quotation is deleted. System will do it. You don't have time to say whether in 6 months or 3 months. Immediately it will do it. So the argument came is very good and very logical because from the logic is this. From the same quotation, you will make many purchase orders. Because quotations are not sometimes given because we are having a continuous business. We are not having a specific project or a contract. If it's a project or a contract, the quotations will come for the project only. If you are running another project, you have to call for another quotation. But we are a retailer, right? If we are continuously buying and selling cricket bats, 1 order, 2 orders, 3 orders, whatever it is, cricket bats. That's it, right? It's a continuous purchasing process, right? Then from the same quotation, during the valid period, quotations are usually given for valid for 3 months, maybe valid for 6 months, maybe valid for 1 month, maybe, right? During that particular period, you should be able to purchase or raise number of POs based on the same quotation. Therefore, it's a good choice to keep the quotation even after converting it into an order. Okay, understood? Right. So retain original PO. Delete the quotation upon changing. We do not select it, right? Then last one. Warn if supplier does not have an ABN for purchase greater than $75. We'll forget that $75 thing. If the supplier is not having an ABN, Australian Business Registration Number, I think I told you this story. The system will automatically apply a higher tax rate and they'll recognize as a not registered company, right? So it's good to have a warning before you record it. Even at the examination, if you have selected it, then you will not make that mistake. Without an ABN, you can't go for you can't create a supplier, right? Otherwise, all your transactions will look wrong. All right. Therefore, warn if supplier does not have an ABN. So we will create a fake ABN address and register that supplier. Okay. So those are the preferences we had to select. Okay. If you have selected all that, click OK. Right. Now we are going to, right? Now we are going to move into an area where some of you were scared when you were creating the account list, right? We are going to go and touch an area, touch an option about which some of the students were scared when you were creating or modifying the account list, right? Let me show you the path. go to setup, go to linked accounts, right? Go to linked accounts, then purchases accounts, right? Leave one line to write the topic. I didn't tell you what I'm going to do. For the topic, leave one line and write the steps. Go to the setup, linked accounts, and purchases accounts, right? Purchases accounts. Okay. So can you remember this place? These are the linked accounts relevant for purchasing. All the linked accounts relevant for purchasing. When we were modifying the accounts list, right? When we were not allowed to modify the linked accounts, we came here and deselected some of the, or we removed the links, right? We didn't come through this process. We came through that link of the account. Inside the account, through the white zoom arrow, we came to this place and we removed the tick, right? That is why some of the ticks are still removed, because we have done that. It's not original. We have done it. Now we are going to, at that time I told you, don't worry, we will be setting up all these links again, right? Now we are going to set those links. Okay. So look at the first account, liability account for tracking payables. What is usually, that is the trade creditors. Okay. Through the trade creditors account, we are tracking the payables. And then bank account for paying bills. What is the bank account we are using to make the bill payment? That is Sampath Bank current account. Trade creditors. Yes, you could have that account. Right. And then what is the account for? I can receive items without supplier bill. If you are receiving some items without a supplier bill, until you record that as a transaction, because without a bill, you can't record the transaction, right? For purchasing, the source document is purchase invoice. Without the purchase invoice, you can't record the transaction, but now the goods are with you. Therefore, you have to have an account, that is accounts payable accrual inventory. That means you have the inventory, but the payment is accrued. Still, you can't record it. That is, the correct account is selected. You don't have to change. Right. And then I pay freight on purchases. I think we have removed this tick. In my case, it is removed. If in your case, if it's not removed, we will check the accuracy of the account. It's okay. In my case, I have removed it purposely previously. And now I am selecting it. I pay freight on my purchases, right? Then what is the account I'm going to select? The freight inwards. Freight inwards. When you type half of the words, it will appear. Freight inwards. Why? I'm going to purchase. Along with the purchase, if the freight is charged, that is for the freight inwards, right? For the selling, if I am charged the freight, so that will be freight outwards, right? Right? It's freight inwards. Then I track deposits paid to suppliers. If I pay any deposits to the supplier in advance, okay? If I pay any deposits to the supplier in advance, because there can be some suppliers who do not trust us that much, they will want us to pay some money in advance, right? So that money is actually an asset to us, right? And if I have paid that, that is recorded under the asset account for supply deposit. That is deposits paid. If it is already selected, it's okay. If it's not selected, please go and select deposits paid. This I'm talking about this account. deposits paid account. Okay. And then if the supplier, right, if I'm getting any discount when paying to the supplier, I take discounts, right? Why shouldn't I take the discount, right? I should take the discount when paying if the supplier gives me a discount. I take the discount, and what is the account I'm going to record? Discounts. When you type discounts, it will automatically show you discounts received account. Right? You pay that money, you receive a discount. It's an income account. Select the discount received account and press the tab key to shift. Press the tab key to shift. Do you get a message? Yes. What is the message? Do you agree with that? Discount received. Ladavatta. It's an income account usually according to our framework. But here what they say is in MyOB, the system is designed to make it an expense account, but a reversal account. I mean, for every entry that will keep a negative entry. And in the same expense account, they will take the net value of the discounts. Right? That is how the system is designed, but we are bypassing that system and bringing it according to our preference. This is just a notification. We can just skip that notification because knowing that we are doing the right thing, we are doing. Okay. Okay. Click OK. Then I pay charges for late payments. Of course, I can't reject this if the supplier charges late fees. I can't say no, I'm not going to pay that. I will have to pay. Therefore, late fees paid expense account is the suitable account. Late fees paid. Okay. So already selected in my case. If it is not selected, you better select it. Right? So this way, now this is the first thing first time you are setting up the linked accounts. This way you will have to set the linked account for all the functions. For purchases, for sales, for anything, you have to set up the links. Then your entire process is nicely arranged after doing this. Thereafter, just a matter of recording the transactions as given. Okay. All right. So are you all okay with this account selection? Yes. Can I think he's representing the entire class? Okay. Then we will click OK. Right. Okay. So we have set up the linked accounts and the preferences to start the purchasing. Now we will go to the purchases command center. Right. Go to the purchases command center. And I want you to open the document I had uploaded in the LMS. Purchasing and placing orders. I hope you all can see this. Right. Now, first thing we are going to do is we are going to make purchases. Okay. So purchases can be in different types. Okay. Depending on the layout. Depending on the layout we are going to record, purchases can be in different types. Certain purchases can be for our own use in the organization. Right? Certain things we may purchase to use in the organization. Now, for example, SAP Campus has purchased this multimedia project. Right? They have purchased these computers. Okay. And also, because they are a service organization, and also they have acquired students. They have recruited students. Right? So these two are different business models. I mean, different types of purchases. This multimedia projector, they have purchased to use in their business. Right? They are not going to resell this. Okay. So in their items list, right? For example, in their maybe if they have a system, in their system as their products, they will not have multimedia. in their product list, they will have the degree programs. Right? Why? The degree programs are the products. So you recruit students and you offer them the product and you ask them to leave. So it's a continuous process. Come and offer and go. Right? Like buying selling. Right? But here, this one, you are not going to buy and sell, but you are going to purchase. Right? So there are two types of purchases broadly. When you are buying these type of items, like for use in the business, for not reselling purpose, those type of purchases you will record under the service layout. Can you remember we discussed about 4 layouts? Right? Layouts mean the formats of purchase. In the service layout, what was the the structure? It didn't have many columns like the quantity, item code, all that were not there because there is no item code for these items. They are just purchased, right? But if you are buying and selling something that is, let's take the same business, cricket bats. For cricket bats, you have a code, right? You have a code, you are continuously buying and selling that. Therefore, for that, you have to have another different layout that is called items layout, right? That is the distinguishing point of the layouts, right? You use service layout to record the purchases of items that are not in your item list. In items layout, you are recording the items you are buying or selling in your items list, right? Even if you are providing a service, right? Even if you are providing a service which is there in your items list, you are using the items layout, not the service layout. I hope you understand that. We had an item called cricket lessons, right? It's a service, of course, but that cricket lessons is there in your items list. Therefore, if you are offering some cricket lessons, you have to use the items layouts, right? Now we are going to record some purchases coming under the service layout. The meaning is they are not for resale purpose, right? Okay. Now look at the first order you are having. There is a supplier called Malinga Bats and Balls Private Limited. Date is 8th April 2023. Goods ordered 100 leather balls at 500 each for the use on the cricket grounds. See, it's not for resale purpose. They are ordering cricket leather balls, but they are not purchasing them for resale purpose. Therefore, these leather balls are not there in the items list, right? They are purchased to be used in the grounds for practices. Then accounting treatment, expense to the ground maintenance account. It's coming under ground maintenance expenditure because if it's a cricket ground, it should have cricket leather balls. Then the cricket balls used on the practices are not expected to last more than 1 year. So you can consider them as assets. That is the meaning, right? So in accounting, you have a concept called materiality concept, right? Even there are certain items, those items will last for more than 1 year. Right? Usually in the definition, we think assets are something that can be used for more than 1 year or more than one accounting period. But according to the materiality concept, even if certain items are used for more than 1 year, sometimes 5 years, right? But if that is insignificant, you do not consider them as assets. Usually we learn that example as cutlery items in a hotel, right? Cutlery in a hotel, because they are buying expensive cutlery items, they will last long, right? Maybe 5 years they can use them, like silver items, silver cutleries, nickel, high quality cutleries they purchase, right? They don't throw them away in 1 year, right? Some are used for number of years, but considering the investment of the hotel, that is a very insignificant cost. Therefore, they do not consider them as assets. They don't depreciate them. They just include it as an expense and expense in the same year they have purchased, right? That is why the specific statement given, they are not expected to last at least more than 1 year. Therefore, this is just an expense. Okay, right. Knowing that, now we have to see how to record this type of a purchase order. This is just order, right? Order number 1. Now, go to the purchase command center. Now you're going to record purchase orders. That is your heading. And then go to the enter purchases. That is the path. Enter purchases. Purchase command center, go to the enter purchases. Right? You are familiar with this format, right? We have just gone through this format. On the top left hand corner, you have the option to select what type of a format this is, what type of a statement this is. Here you have options like quotation, quote, order, receive items, or bill. Now, what is our format? Order, right? Order, right? Okay. For this, we are not calling quotations, right? Because this is one of order, right? Order. And first thing you have to enter is the supplier, right? Select the supplier, Malinga Bets and Balls, right? When you type MAL, automatically it will come. Did it come? Under the supplier, select the Malinga Bets and Balls Private Limited and press tab key. Then you can see the ship to address and all the relevant details are updated. Even his credit terms all are added. Right? It didn't happen magically. All this information we have entered under the supplier card. Right? Then you can see purchase number. Purchase number is 00001. Right? Because this is the first purchase we are going to, or purchase order we are going to raise. If you have a different purchase order number format, you can still use that, right? Now it is giving you only numerical number 0001. Let's say there are some companies are having a PO numbers PO 2025 0/1 something. If you mention like that, the system will start counting from that number, right? But last number has to be a numeric number. Then the system will count from that number. Okay. If you have a different format, still you can use it. But here we are just keeping it as a number 001. Okay. And then date. Date you have to very accurately type April 8, 2023. April 8, 2023. When you're entering the date, it has to be in the format of your computer's system date. Hope you can remember that. When you're entering the date, the format of the date should be according to your computer's system time format. Here you can see in my computer, the date format is there as month first. 12th is the month, and then the date, and then the year. Okay, that is why I entered month first for April, and 8th is the date, and then the year. Okay. And after entering those two basic information, the supplier and the date, you have to make sure you are selecting or you have selected the correct layout to record this, right? What you currently see is not the service layout. It has number of columns. It has to be the items layout, right? So how you change it? At the bottom, you can see there is a button called layout. Okay, click on that. Okay, see, it's the item layout now you have. You have to select the service layout and click OK. Then you can see the format has changed. All right. Okay, the format has changed, no? Now, what are the information you have to enter? You have to enter a description about what you are going to buy. And then you have to enter or select an account name. Okay. And then the amount, if there is a job number or the tax amount charged, right? So we will enter the description, 100 leather balls at 500 each. This is my description. Right? You can copy and paste for practice, but in the real exam, you can't copy and paste. Yes, you are getting a hard copy paper. Because here you are learning the principle, therefore, just Because this description can be different from one student to another. Somehow it should contain what you are going to purchase. The paper පිට වෙනවා. Paper cannot be uploaded to the online platform before the exam. Outsiders get access. Those who are not attending the hall get access. Right. Okay. So this is no. I'm not an English teacher. I'm not checking the. I'm just checking the technicality, the accuracy of the double entries. You have typed properly. I mean. Spelling mistakes accepted, but you have to. I mean, when I see the transaction, it should give me a meaning. Like don't type like you are texting SMS or something. Right? Like MK මොකද කරන්නේ? එහෙම බෑ. Hell balls. You have to type it as 100 leather balls, at least 500. Okay, because when now listen, that's a good information also. Because by looking at this transaction, I should be able to understand the student has recorded this particular transaction. If you have recorded something else, so that it should be that clear at least, right? So here, look at this 100 leather balls, 500 each. That's it, right? So it's very clear, and because in this case you don't have much information about the price and quantities. Therefore, both that information should be there in the description. Otherwise, we can't identify how that final figure came, right? Because in this amount column, amount field, you are entering a bold number, full number, right? Therefore, how that number came, that information should be there in the description. Okay, please enter that information. And then the account. What is the expense account? Ground maintenance account. It's given, right? Ground maintenance. When you type ground, there can be different account, but ground maintenance cost account. Ground maintenance cost. Then press tab. The amount, right? What is the amount? 50,000. It's easy to calculate because these two numbers are very easy to multiply. Okay, but if there was a different number like 225 rupees per ball and 37 balls acquired, purchased, then it's difficult. You need a calculator, right? So yeah, we used it, no? Did we use it? The calculator inside this? No. Yeah, right? When you come to this any field, right? Press the space key in your keyboard. Right? Press the space key in your keyboard, so it will give an inbuilt calculator. Just the space key in the keyboard. Oh, our backspace key. Okay, backspace name space key again. Right? Select that space key. Okay, it will give you the calculator. So I know it's a very simple calculation in this case, but I'm just showing you the method. Okay, so I'm typing 500 into, this is the multiplying sign, into 100, right? Then I press equal sign. Okay, now you can see it is automatically calculated, right? So it shows you the total amount. Okay, did you use the calculator? You use the calculator, right? So that option is important. Huh? That option is important when the numbers are difficult, right? Okay, you can see here. Listen. Now you can see here under the tax code, value added tax is automatically added. The reason is for this supplier, the supplier is charging value added tax. Okay. Therefore, even though if it is not mentioned, if it is automatically selected for that supplier, then we have to leave it there, right? We have to keep that tax code, right? And then you can have a comment. Now that is the only thing you are going to purchase from this supplier. And under the comment, you can include anything. Maybe thank you, pick up as soon as possible or whatever it is, right? Happy New Year, happy holidays, whatever. Thank you. I will select thank you. It's good for everything, right? And then ship via its pickup. That pickup is we have something we have selected from the supplier. We are going and collecting by ourselves, right? And then those are the information you can see here under the totals, right? Under the total values, subtotal is 50,000. No any freight charged, right? And tax amount is also calculated, and the total amount is 50,000. Here there is a option called paid today. Okay, paid today, because in certain purchases, when you place the purchase order, some suppliers will ask you to pay some advance money, right? To accept this order, pay some advance. Then in that case, you can include that amount under the paid today. So the rest can be the credit. Okay. So here in this case, nothing is mentioned. You can see here journal memo is automatically generated. So we will be okay with that. And order delivery status to be printed. We don't have to worry about those stuff. Those are documentation stuff. And balance due will be 50,000. Entire 50,000 will be balance due, right? Now, before recording a transaction, we used to do something to see the double entry. What was that? Controller. What was the function? Name of the function. The key is correct. The option is correct. So what is the name of it? Recap transaction, right? Recap transaction. Try to recap the transaction. Controller. What do you get? Surprised. System එක වැරදිලා අපිට හරි ගිහින් මොකක්ද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? What has happened? Yes, that is pure accounting. Purchase order is not a part of accounting, right? Accounting process starts in O-level commerce class, right? The tuition sir said transactions start with the source document. For purchases, the source document is purchase invoice. Before that, the purchase order is the legal document, but it's not the start of the accounting process. This is a prior process to start the accounting process. Okay. Therefore, system is right. There is no transaction to record. It does not record a double entry. It's keeping a track record of the purchase we have. Okay. Understood? So click on the record button. Now you are getting another message. You have a credit limit of 45,000, but this purchase order is going to be for 50,000, right? If no more information is given, we will just record it and then we will contact the supplier and ask for more credit. Okay, just record that. Okay. Right, that purchase order is recorded. Right, are we good with that? That is how to record a purchase order. Very simple. Right, now look at the order number 2, right? Order number 2, it's the same thing, same process you have to follow, but only there's a small difference. Instead of one line of item, or instead of one item, here we are ordering a few items, right? Instead of one line, there will be few lines. That is the only difference. I want you to start entering this information. Let's start. The supply is price codes, and then the date is 9th of April. And you can see purchase order number is automatically changed to number 2, right? So it will change continuously. And then I have to change the layout to service. And first item is one tractor used to cut grass on the ground. First item is a tractor, and the amount is 85,000, and you are going to capitalize that to ground equipment at cost. Ground equipment at cost is the account. Right? When you press tab, you are getting a notification. The account used to allocate a purchase is usually an expense or cost of sales account, but you are going to record it in an asset account, right? So knowing that, we will click OK. Okay. And then the amount is 85,000. Tax code is capital tax CAP. Right? And in the next line, you can record bats and balls collected. That is also capitalized in the ground equipment at cost. Okay, I know that. 37,000 and capital tax cap. And these 10 rubber mats, they are to be used in the building. Therefore, it's capitalized to the buildings at cost account. All these are capitalized items to the assets. That's why this message is coming. The system knows, system push us to record only the expenses under the purchasing. But here we are purchasing some assets. Therefore, that pop-up will come, but still you can record it. Tax code is amount is even that 650 into 10. If you want to use the calculator, you can try that, but you can just do it. Right, tax code is cap. Okay, did you enter all 4 lines? Right, and then right, there are no any more additional information. Check whether the selected accounts are correct. For the tractor, it's ground equipment at cost. A bats balls collector, that is ground equipment at cost. Rubber mats, that is buildings at cost, and higher bats, that is ground equipment at cost. Right, those are the accounts, and total should be 163,500. Right, no any freight, no any other information given. So I'll keep the comment as thank you and pick up. All that is correct. Right, so I can record this. Again, I will get the same notification. it's going to exceed the credit limit. Okay. Still, I will select it. We'll later negotiate. Okay. Right. Record. Now, what did we learn there? Those are the two service layout orders, right? Anything that we are going to purchase, and that item, if it is not in our items list, right? If it's not for resale purpose, those item purchases, even though it's an expensed item, or even though it's an asset that we are going to purchase, we can use the service layout and the enter purchase function to record those purchase orders. Okay, that is our learn. Hope everyone is okay with that. Fine. All right. Now we are going to go into the next stage, that is items layout order, right? Item layout order. What type of orders are these? These are the orders of the items that we purchase for resale purpose. We purchase them, we keep in the inventory, and we resell them. Okay. So to enter these items, you can't use the service layout. The reason is all these items are there in our items list. We don't have to manually copy paste or manually type these items, right? When we search for these items, they will appear in our list because they are there in our items list. All right. So that is the nature. Now we will go and record these item layout orders, the same procedure, right? Same purchase ordering. Order number 3. Look at the supplier. It's Prime Sport Imports Private Limited, and the date is 9th April. And listen, we have received a quotation for the following items. Now these items are now going to go through the exact process, correct process, where you are calling for a quotation, and then based on that we will see how to generate the purchase order. Now we are not going to create a purchase order directly. We are going to create a quotation, right? Now we will go and see how to create a quotation. It's very simple. From here, you just select as quote, right? Select the format as quote, quotation. Nothing will change but the color, right? So the appearance. In the appearance, nothing will change but the color. Now see, once you record any of the purchase orders, right? You have an option called purchase register, right? In sales also it's the same. When you record sales, you have sales register. In purchases, you have the purchase register. You can go to the purchase register, right? And you have to set the date range properly. From which date to which date purchases you need, right? So I'm selecting it as the first date of our year, April 1st, 2023. 2023 to any date. Then you can see there are different tabs. Okay. Under all purchases, you will have all the documents you have, right? Under quotes, you will have any quotations you have generated. Under orders, you will have the orders you have created, right? And open bills, we will discuss them later. Out of these orders, these two are the orders we have generated now. Okay. If you made any mistake in any of these orders, right? In front of those orders, there is a white zoom arrow. You can go into that and make any correction in the format and click on OK button, right? Because still this is a purchase order, you can make the changes. Okay. You can make the changes and click OK. So it will be coming under the orders, right? Okay. So let me close this. Shall I close this? Right. Now we were in the enter purchases option. We were in the enter purchases option, and we had changed this into a quotation, right? And then the supplier was Prime Sport Imports. Prime Sports Imports is the supplier. Select it. When you select that supplier, you can see it suggests you that there are some outstanding POs for this supplier. Are you going to use that information? Are you going to use that purchase order to fill this information? But here it is not. We are going to buy something different, right? So cancel that prompt. And then make sure the date is accurate. 9th of April. That is correct. Okay. Now, you are going to purchase 100 of each type of handles. So altogether 300 handles in total. The names of the handles are RP cord handles, RP rubber handles, RP wood handles. Okay. Price per item is 400 rupees. And the box price is 8,000. That means these handles are coming in boxes. Okay. So here it is linked to the purchase. When you were creating items list, can you remember the buying unit of measure? I was stressing so much on that. The buying unit of measure, how many items are there per buying unit of measure? Right. In boxes, there were 20. In dozens, there were 12 items. Right. In certain items, it was each and one only. Right. So that type of a buying unit of measure thing was there. Right. Now that matters here. Here the RP cord handles are purchased 100 items from each of these items, right? 100 from each. Then we have to go and see what is the buying unit of measure of it, right? So first we will select being in the same format, right? Being in the same format, you don't have to close this. Okay. Being in the same format, go to the list. Okay. Go to the list tab and go to the items. So these are the shortcuts. Easily you can go to visit anywhere while being in the same format. Items. And then you can see the items list you created. You are going to now purchase handles, right? Here you can see RP cord handle, RP rubber handle, RP wood handle, all this, right? I will go into one of these handles with the white zoom arrow, right? RP cord handle, let's say. I'm going into the RP cord handles and I'm going to the buying details to see how we are purchasing them. You can see here boxes of 20, right? We are purchasing a buying unit of measure is a box and it contains 20 items. The same thing is applicable for all the handles, right? Then I close this window, the items list. I close it. And now I know the meaning of 100 items from each means 100 divided by 20, right? There are only 5 boxes. Okay. That is the buying unit of measure. Buying unit of measure is 5 boxes because you are buying 100 items. Okay. Therefore, I'm entering the quantity as 5 here, quantity. And then the item number, but I think, okay, you can't type the RP, it doesn't come. The reason may be we have not set that preference. Let me go to the setup and preferences. Are we good to that? Do that, right? I'm going to the setup and preferences. Under that, Windows preferences. Okay. Select items by item name, not item number. There is a preference to make our life easier. Otherwise, we could have done that. Do you find that? Under preferences, Windows preferences, right? There is a preference. That is 5th one. Select items by item name, not item number. Okay. I selected it because I want to search the items by their name. All right. If in your case it's selected already, that's fine. Then you can click OK. Now I am searching for RP. Okay. RP code handles, right? RP code handles. Then item number and both descriptions are appearing. Okay. But the buying price is not appearing. Why? We did not enter the buying price. We wanted to enter that based on the supplier invoice, right? Supplier quotation. Therefore, what is the price the supplier has given? 400 rupees per item, and the price per box is 8,000. Okay. What is the price we are entering here? Is it 400 or is it 8,000? Any guesses? Hands up those who say 8,000. Hands up those who say 400. Right. Let me tell you the logic. Buying unit of measure is considered in the quantity calculation, right? When you enter 5 here, that will track with the item we have recorded, and it will multiply it by 5 and identify the quantity, right? But within this form, it will take the total by multiplying the quantity with the price. Right? Simply in any invoice that is happening. Quantity here, what the quantity we have entered will be multiplied by the price, and the total will be calculated. Then the quantity is 5 boxes. Clear? Then what is the price should be? Price per box. Okay. If it's 400, it's wrong. You understand? 400 is the price per unit item. Right? So this is the number of boxes. 5 into the price of a box, that is 8,000. Right? Then that is VAT inclusive, which is already, automatically added. Right? So this way, shall we enter the other two handles?
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sir, how to put the item number?
Item number, actually I searched with the name, right? Because here it's the code handle, RP code handle. Then I searched it here, right? I searched the RP code handle here. Then when I press the tab key, automatically the item code appeared there, because all these items are the items we have already created in our items list. Okay.
Yeah,
If you couldn't find it, it may be you have not set the system preference. This is how I have set it. Under setup, preferences, in the Windows preferences, right? Select the 5th preference. Select items by item name, not item number. Then you will be able to search the item by the item name, not the number. All right.
Yeah, all right.
Right now, we will go to the next one. Again, 5 boxes and RP rubber handles, right? RP rubber handles. The price is 5,000. Another 5 boxes. Right. Another 5 boxes of RP wood handles. Price of a box is 7,000. Okay, please refer item list for buying unit of measure. Tax code is VAT. Both we have done, right? Both we have referred. And also, did you enter the 3 handles? Did you enter the 3 handles? Okay. Did you enter all 3 handle types? Right. Then in the same quotation, we are receiving 100 of each type of blades, right? So 400 blades in total. You can see there Below wood blade or all 4 types of blade, 100 from each. Again, you have to double check. If you can't remember, you can go and check how we purchased the blades. Blades were also came as boxes of 20. If you are not sure about that, you can quickly go to the list, items, go and look in one blade. Here, aluminium metal blade. Let me go into that blade. Buying it details, you can see box of 20, right? Blades are also purchased as boxes of 20. Therefore, I can mention the quantity as 5. How the 5 came? 100 divided by 20. Right? And below wood blade, the price of a box is 10,000. Then next is 5 boxes of white willow blade. White willow blade. And the price is 9,000. And next is aluminium metal blade. The price is 11,500. Last one is reinforced polymer. The price is 13,000. All right. Did you enter all the information? Okay. Did you enter all that information? Then you can just click on save quote, right? Save quote, because you are going to save the quotation. Clear? Then you are getting that message because you are going to exceed the credit limit. Okay, knowing that, we will record it. Right? Then you can cancel this format. Right? You can click on the cancel button to close this format. And now we are going to go to the purchase register to see all we have recorded up to now. Right? Purchase register is the place where you can see all the documents we have created under the purchasing. Right? Under the purchase command center, purchase register. Right? Here you, as we discussed previously, you have to set the date range accurately. Otherwise, you can't see your purchases. Okay. Now here you can see under all purchases, right? Under all purchases, you will see everything, including quotations, purchase orders, bills. If you have, everything will be there. Then you have separate tabs to customize or categorize those documents. When you go to the quotes, right, you can see the quotation you have created. Right. When you go to orders, you can see the orders you have created. Okay. Now, in your examination, I always recommend you. Okay. Now listen. Listen. In the examination, I always recommend you to use the fastest and easiest path. So when you are dealing with purchases, first thing you have to do is, even before going to the enter purchase format, come to this place, purchase register, because at the bottom you have all the required buttons. Right? Now, for example, you could have created these orders under the orders tab. At the bottom, there is a button called new order. That button will lead you to the same format. Right? If you wanted to create a quotation, you could have come to the quotes category and click on a new quote, right? So that will give you a new quotation, including the right format, right color. Okay, so that is easier and that is more accurate. I mean, you won't make mistakes, right? Now we have a quotation. Anyway, now we have to use this purchase register to do this. In the transaction at the bottom, there is a statement called order was placed on 10th April. For this quotation, we collected the quotation. For this, we are placing a purchase order on the 10th, right? Now, how we are going to record the purchase order? Previously, we created the purchase order. Again, we started a new PO and we entered the supplier name. And again, we typed one by one what are the items on which we are placing the purchase order. But in this case, we have already recorded the quotation, right? For the same items. Now, for the same items, we are going to place the purchase order. So we don't have to enter that PO again. Just a matter of converting this quotation into a purchase order. That is the benefit of having a quotation. And from the same quotation, you can generate many purchase orders as well. Clear? Right. Now, I go to the quotations. There's only one quotation I have, right, which is already selected. And at the bottom, you can see there is a button called change to order, change to bill, or changing things are there, right? You have to change to order because we are going to create a purchase order for this, right? Click on change to order. Then you can see the same information is appearing, but in the form of an order, right? The order. Things you have to change are the supplier you don't have to change, right? The date, it's 10th of April. Change the date. And if there are any other changes you want to make, you can do that. If there are, because you may be calling quotation for 100 items, but it doesn't mean you have to buy the entire 100 items, right? Maybe you are not purchasing one item or two items. Right? So in that case, you can delete those lines and you can take the purchase order. Clear? But in this case, you are purchasing the entire thing. Therefore, we will just click on the record button, right? We converted it into a purchase order. Then we are recording the purchase order. Understood? Click on record button. We are going to exceed the credit limit. Okay. Right? Then close this format and you can see quotation is there. Nothing happened to the quotation. Okay. But under the orders, you can see one new order is created based on the quotation. Right? It's because we have set the preferences not to delete the quotation upon converting it into a purchase order. Right? So you have the purchase order and still you have the quotation. If you want to place another purchase order from the same quotation, still you can do that because the quotation is there. Okay. Right. So that is the order number 3. And do you need a break?
Yes, sir.
I can see your faces. You are waiting for the break. Then yeah. We have a lot of transactions to record, but okay, take a 15 minutes break, right? Then by 4:55, please come. 4:55. Before that, mark your attendance and go. Mark your attendance and take the break.
sign up to for it and education in a lecture next week. Next week 11th week can plan करें office से क्या है next week Saturday තිබුණා Saturday lecture එක එතකොට Sunday තිබුණොත් තමයි Sunday quiz Sunday තිබුණා next week එක inform වෙන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට මේ විදිහට prepare දෙක වැටලා නැත්නම් අදේක පාර්ට්නර් ඕපන් කරන්නේ බැහැ අපිට මේ පර්මිට් කරන්නේ ඔව් ඒගොල්ලන් ඉන්ෆෝම් කරනවා
Andare a focus dell'arte. Apri che andrebbe per la maniera. Volevo darmi questo. Tapi paling pwede ba rin? Kung ito iya agad. Iya, mau saya. So they can invest. So what they Srilanka के मुझे चार दो
Right. Okay, so we completed the order number 3, right? Now we are going to enter the order number 4. Okay. Now we are going to enter order number 4. In order number 4, then the content we are ordering is very simple, not complicated. The only difference, if you properly read order number 4, in the last line, it mentions at the order placing, 25,000 rupees is paid today as an advance to confirm the order. That's what we were talking about under the paid today. When certain suppliers, they want us to pay an advance to confirm the order, right? So in this order, you have that option. The supplier has asked to pay an advance, right? So other except that special case, all the rest of the things are the same, right? You have the supplier, you have the date and the items, and shoes. When it comes to shoes, buying unit of measure was also one pair. Can you remember? It was one pair. Therefore, no need to worry about the buying unit of measure also. So we will just create the purchase order. Rather than going for the enter purchases function, we will create the order from the purchase register. Okay. So now I'm in the purchase register. I select, I go to the orders column or orders classification, and then new order. Okay. I will select the supplier Sachin Sports, right? And then set the date, that is 11th of April. And my layout should be items layout, right? Because these are item purchases. Select the items layout. Okay. From the layout, select the item layout. And then enter the quantities. 20 pairs of platinum. Then under order, we make it 20. Right? 20 pairs of platinum convertible. Right? Under the item number, type the platinum convertible. Right? The price per pair is 2,500. In this items layout, if you are wondering what this received column is, right? So this is allowing you to either place the order or directly receive the items like the invoice, right? But skip that received column, just enter the order quantity and 2,500 per pair, right? Then another 10 pairs of house ad, 10 pairs of house ad, junior shoes. The price is 1,800. And another 10 pairs of Luna accelerated Nike shoe. The price is 3,200. Okay, price is 3,200. So that's the total order quantities. Right? Now, after entering all those order quantities or order information, the additional information you have about 25,000 paid today, right? Here at the bottom, you can see there is a space to enter the paid today amount, right? There we will enter 25,000 as they want us to pay an advance. All right. And then you can see the total amount was 100,000. After the paid today amount, your balance due is 75,000 only, right? Now we are still in an order format, right? I want you to just try the recap transaction option. Control R, recap transaction option. Now you won't get that error. Why? There is a small double entry you are going to enter here for the payment. For the advance payment, it's not, so it's the initiating point of that transaction, right? Even though the order is still pending, now this is going to be a transaction immediately after you record this, right? Therefore, you can see from Sampath bank account, it will be credited, and for the deposit paid account, that will be debited as an asset, because that is an asset for us. We are paying in advance. Okay, right? Click OK and record this. You can see the check information. A check for the amount is paid today will be recorded. Click OK. Click OK. So a check will be recorded. Okay. For the check recording option, you click OK. Record this. Record the purchase order. Then you will get a pop-up message for recording the check. So click OK. Then the check will be recorded and the purchase order will be also saved. Right. Then if you cancel this format, you can see under orders, this Sachin Sports purchase order is recorded, and 100,000 is the amount, and amount due is 75,000, right? Okay. Okay. Then that is the learning from order number 4. When you have paid today amounts, how to record a purchase order, right? Now we will go to order number 5. Okay, order number 5. Here you have a small customization. The learning is how to customize when there are different submodels from the same item. Okay, the way you are recording it is the same. Supplier is Malinga Bats and Balls. Date is 11th April, and then look at the items you are going to order. 60 lava and wood cricket bats in 2 models. Now, lava and wood cricket bat is there in our items list. So no worries, you can pick it from the items list. But when it comes to these 2 models, model 1 and model 2, there are no separate provisions for these 2 models, right? Because it's the same item, but maybe the sticker is different, maybe the color is different, or something very minor which is different. But in the items, it is considered as the same item. Okay. So we will see how to make that sub customization of an item, right? That is the new learning here. And also, before going to record this, can you all check and tell me how do we purchase cricket bats? What is the buying unit of measure? What is the buying unit of measure of cricket bats? Can you go and see? Each. Okay. Can you double check and tell me? Dozens. Right? Dozens. Using gun. Right? So dozen, how many items are there for a dozen? 12 items are there. Now we will see how to record this purchase order, right? Order number 5. Okay, I'm here in the order column, orders tab, and pick new order. The supply is Malinga. Right, I'm not selecting any from the previous orders. Cancel that sheet. And then it's 11th of April. Okay. And the order quantity of lava wood cricket bats in 2 models. 60 bats you are ordering now. Okay, carefully look at this. 60 bats you are ordering in 2 models, 30 in one model and 30 in another model. Therefore, for each 30, you have to include 1 line. Right? 30 items, 30 bats is equal to how many dozens? 60 is 5 dozens, it's clear. Then 30, 2.5, right? 2. Even decimals you can include. That will be multiplied by the system and it will calculate as 30 bats. Okay. So here 2.5 dozens from, okay, lava and wood cricket bats. Okay. When you select the item number and you will get the item description. in the item description, do you see there is a customization option? You can customize that text. That customization option is given for you to enter any additional information. Okay. Then type model 1. Cricket bats model 1. Okay. This part I have entered manually. I have customized the description by entering that sub classification as model 1. Okay. Same item number, only in the description a small customization is done. Right? Then the price per dozen is 18,000. Price per dozen is 18,000 because per bat cost is 1,500 into 12. Right? That is 18,000. Then another 2.5 in the next line. Another 2.5 of laver wood and wood cricket bats. And that is model number 2. Model 2, right? Again, the same price. Okay, this is the new learning. In this purchase order, nothing difficult. The only new learning is under the same item, if there are sub-classifications, sub-varieties, you can customize that with the support of description column, right? From the description, you can customize that too. Okay, now we will enter the other source. 60 MRF cricket bats. Again, they have two models, 30 in model A and 30 in model B, right? Again, 2.5 dozens MRF, right? MRF cricket bats. They are coming as model A, right? Model A. Price is 18,900. Then again MRF cricket bats. Model B 18,900. 47,250. Right? Then after entering first two items, the others don't have sub-classification. That is 60 Bradbury. That means 5 dozens. Okay. 5 dozens of Bradbury. Bradbury cricket bats. That is 19,800. Then again 5 dozens of AA Sports. 21,600. Okay. Okay. All right. Did you enter all this information? If you correctly entered the figures, your total value of the order should be 391,500. Right? Hope that is there. Okay. Right. Then if so, if those information are correct, you can click on the record button. Right? Record button. So what is the new learning here in this order? Under any item, if there are sub-classifications, you can mention that sub-classification using the description column because that is left editable. Okay, you can edit that part. That is the only new addition here. Record it. Okay. Right. Then we can quickly record order number 6. There's nothing difficult there. It's a very basic order, right? XY Company Limited. Date is 12th of April. Quantity is 5. Because for cricket bags, it was each, right? Buying unit of measure is each. Therefore, therefore, for 5 cricket bags, you have to enter 5. Applewood cricket bags, the price is 2,800. Another 5 kids Kokabura, price is 3,200. Other 5 original BD. 1,790. Okay. Then the total order amount is 38,950. Right? If that is 38,950, that is the total order amount. Okay. Right. Then record this order. Just record that order. All right. Okay. Right. So that is about recording a purchase order. Right. That is how you record purchase orders. What are the points you have to remember when you are creating purchase orders? Did you finish that part? Okay. Right. Just try to recap what we have. Try to remember what are the points you have to remember in recording these purchase orders. There can be certain items you purchase that are not available in your items list. Then for that you have to use the service items, service layout. Right? If now this is the point you have to remember. For the examination, there will be no one to guide you like this. When you look at the transaction, you should be able to predict or understand how you are going to record it. Right? So that's why I'm summarizing it in that way, in your student's angle. When you are purchasing something that is not available in your items list, you have to use the service layout because that is the one-off purchase, right? And if you are buying something in your items list, if it is starting with the quotation, right? First you have to enter the quotation, and then from the purchase register, you can convert that quotation into a purchase order, right? And if there is any advance the supplier request, if the supplier wants an advance before accepting the purchase order, then you can use the pay today option. Pay today option to pay that advance amount. Right? That is another learning. And the final learning you had is when there are subcategories, so some variants of a particular product item, then you can use the description column to manually change the description to cater to that customization, right? And always you have to carefully look at the buying unit of measure when entering whatever the purchase order. Those are the broad learnings you had out of these orders. Clear? If you are clear with those learning points, then there will be no problem in the examination. Right. Now, we are going to see how to enter. Now, after ordering, we have to move to bills. Right? Now, we have created purchase orders for different types of transactions. After that, we have to start recording bills. In other words, invoices. How to record invoices in the system. When we start with the invoices, first we will see when we go to the shops, when we go for purchasing, without raising the purchase order, there can be urgent situations where you will not have time to raise a purchase order to go through this entire process. Call for quotations, raise a purchase order, and then to make the purchase. You will have to quickly go to the supplier and purchase some quick decisions. Then the first document you will have is a bill or an invoice, right? Not a purchase order. In that kind of situations, how you are going to record those quickly generated bills, right? That is the next learning in the bill generation or bill recording. The first learning is when you generate a bill, when you have a bill before a purchase order, how you are going to record that bill. Okay. So first look at these bills are for certain things you wanted to quickly acquire. Bill number 1. Company purchased paper for the fax copier, writing papers and other stationery from Ashok Company Private Limited on 12th April, totaling to 525, including VAT. Select office supplies and stationery account for the accounting treatment. You had to purchase some quick stationery, right? So you don't have time to call for quotations and orders for these 525 rupees purchase, right? Then it's very simple. We will go to rather than going from here, again we will go to the enter purchase. Okay, if you are writing the path, entering bills, creating bills for sudden orders, for sudden purchases, purchase command center, enter purchases. Okay, from enter purchases, change the format into bill. Okay, change the format into bill because that is the first document you are creating, and select the supplier Ashok, right? Ashok Company Private Limited, and select the date. Date is 12th April. Okay. And then you have to convert this layout into service because the stationery is not a part of your items list, right? This is stationery, not a part of your items list. Therefore, change the layout into service and then enter this information. Paper for the fax copier, writing papers and other stationery. Right. Just enter what you purchased. Paper for the fax copier, writing papers and stationery. And the account name you have to select is office supplies and stationery. Office supplies and stationery. There is an account in that name. Office supplies and stationery. And the amount is 525. 525. 5. And the tax code is value added tax. It's automatically added. Right. Okay. Now, it's 525 rupees. Okay. In the transaction, have they mentioned whether we paid for this stationery or not? Yeah, 525 cost taken, right? But are we getting any clue about cash payment? No, right? And also the supplier's name is given. When the supplier's name is given without mentioning properly whether it's paid or not, we have to assume it's on credit, right? If it is not on credit, we don't need the supplier name actually. You just want, we have purchased for cash. Even if supplier name is given, if they have specifically mentioned it's on cash, we don't have to worry. We can include paid today full amount, right? Then that will be completely done. But here we have to keep this as a credit. You can now use the recap transaction option because this is a bill. Okay, you can press Ctrl R to see what is the double entry because this is a bill. Okay, it's a bill. So you can because of the taxation, all that you can see some numbers, but both sides are tallying. Okay, then you can click on the record button. Okay, it's a very simple bill you have created. Click on the record button. Right, it's a very simple bill you have entered. And then we will go to bill number 2. Okay, again the supply is XY Company Limited. Date is 13th April. Now you can see some items are purchased and description. Now the treatment, accounting treatment is explained here. Capitalize first 2 amounts to office furniture and equipment. Use the cap as the tax code, and the last amount should be expensed to the ground maintenance account. Okay, right. So there are 3 items: supply and fit pro shop counters, supply and lay artificial grass carpets, and installation of bag racks in the showroom. Right? Those are the 3 items. Now we will quickly create another bill for XY Company Limited. We are not going to use any previous purchases. Cancel that. And then date is 13. Date is 13 April. And the layout is service. Right? Layout is service. Now, why am I turning it to service layout? Yeah, these items are not there in our items list. Okay, one of purchases. Always you have to have that logic, right? And here I'm taking item by item. Supply and fit, pro counter shops, pro shop counters, and the account name should be office furniture and equipment. When you press enter, it will again tell you these are assets. Why are you placing it under the expenses? Right? Knowing that we are including 12,500. 12,500 office furniture equipment at cost, right? And the tax code is cap. Tax code is capital tax. And then second item is supply and lay artificial grass carpet squares. Right? That is also office furniture equipment. Equipment at cost and 4,300 for 350. And cap is the tax code. And then install bag racks in showroom. Third item is installation of bag racks in the showroom. That should be expense to ground maintenance. Ground maintenance cost account, and that is 2,700. No any taxation, tax code information is given for the last item, but automatically value added tax is added because this supplier is registered for VAT. Therefore, we will leave it as it is. Okay. So for any expense item, should charge the value added tax. It's not specifically mentioned. Right. So that is about the items. They have not mentioned anything about a payment. Therefore, this is also going to be on credit because there is a supplier. Okay. Then you can recap also. You can recap this invoice. Okay. You can recap this bill. All right. If you are fine with the double entry, you can click on the record button. That's it. Okay. Click on the record button. Okay. Then let's close this window and go to the purchase register. Shall we go to the purchase register? Because purchase register is the place where you have all the documents you generated, right? All the forms you generated are there under the purchase register. So you can see under the quotes, right? Under the quotes, you have the only one quotation you have created. And under the orders, you have the number of orders you created, number of purchase orders you placed. And under open bills, you can see, under open bills, you can see the two bills we generated, so the two bills we spent, right? So this is actually a sequential order, right? Now, since these open bills are generated for non-inventory items, right? They were directly generated as bills, right? If you forget all that, if you just think of the items in our items list, right? They will start from the quotations. Okay. They will start from the quotations. Okay. We first enter the quotation. Then based on the quotation, we will place the order, right? When we create the purchase order based on this quotation, it will jump to the orders tab. That we noticed, right? That we noticed for our first order. First item, inventory item related order. From the quotation, it jumped to the orders. After receiving these ordered items, we will learn that next week, not next week, tomorrow. Tomorrow we will learn that. When you place, when you receive these items, the ordered items, you are receiving them with an invoice or the bill, right? Then all these orders will become open bills, right? Because we are converting them into bill because we are receiving the bill. Okay. Why do we call them open bills? Because they are not paid. Still not paid. Therefore, they are open bills. Then for all those open bills, one day we will have to make the payment. When we make the payment, they will become closed bills. Okay. Closed bills. They all will jump to the closed bills tab. Right. Then all the purchases, once you finish the payment, they all will come under the closed bills. Right. Maybe thousands, millions, whatever. Right. And unfortunately, there are returns in between these two. After closing, after generating the bill, after receiving the invoice with the goods, if you find anything that is not as ordered, right? Maybe defects, maybe something in a different style than you ordered, any problem you found, then there will be returns and debits, purchase returns. So they will come in between. Before paying, you identify that, and they will come under this. Then you can't keep the returns and debits for so long. You have to finish them off. Maybe either claiming money or else you can deduct it from a future payment. Right? Okay. So from either way, we'll learn that tomorrow. how to settle all that. End of the day, all of these except the quotations, because quotes are not linear. Quotations will be there as quotations. Except that all the orders will have to jump one by one and should stop at the closed place. Right? All should be staying in the closed place. That should be the process of purchasing. All right. Okay. So that is for the day. No point of generating reports only for this purchasing. We'll learn the sales part also, and then we'll complete the purchases and then see the reports and all. Okay. Right. So I want you all to take the backup. Now this company file is so valuable. Huh? It has a lot of purchases, lot of orders and everything, lot of data. It has. Don't lose the file. You have only 41 days remaining. Within 41 days, you have to finish learning all that and generate P&L, balance sheet, all these reports. Also. Before 41 days, we will be able to do it. Because most probably, even next week, you will have 2 sessions like this because they don't want to drag the semester. They want to somehow complete. It's good initiative, right? Yeah, that is a good practice. You may feel it a bit difficult because on the Sunday you will have an extra session. But end of the day, in the job market, apply කරන්න ඕනේ මෙදාට කලින් degree එක තියෙනවා. So those are very serious cases, right? Even though it's 2 weeks or 1 month, sometimes there's a huge opportunity you are missing if you get late. Earlier, the better it is, whatever the qualification. Okay, right. So thank you very much. You all can take your company's files to your own backup systems. We will see. We will meet tomorrow, not next week.